Sus is short for suspended. In a sus chord, we replace the third by a scale tone either side of it. This can be the second or the fourth note of the scale and gives birth to two types of suspended chords, the sus2 and the sus4 chords. To create a sus2 chord, we need to find the third of our chord and drop it by a tone. Let's start with the D form. To find the third of our D form, first locate the open D bass note, then move 3 strings higher, 1, 2, 3, finding our third, then dropping it a tone by lifting our second finger off to an open string, then we get the D sus2 chord. For the A form, we follow the same method. First locate the open string bass note, then move 3 strings higher, 1, 2, 3, finding our third, then dropping it a tone by lifting our third finger off to an open string, then we get the A sus2 chord. The E form is useless for sus2 chords, as the third is on the first fret, making it impossible to lower by a tone. Now let's deal with the C and G forms. If you've watched my other level up chord videos, you'll start to notice that I'm always splitting chords into two groups, the E, A and D, and the C and G. This is because the E, A and D forms follow a different intervallic structure from the C and G forms. One of these differences is that the C and G voicings contain 2 thirds, and the key thing to remember about these is that the thirds are always one string above the roots. For the C form, I recommend muting off the lower third, one string above the low root, as modifying it to a second so close to the bass note creates a muddy sounding voicing. As the high third is an open string which cannot be lowered any further, we are instead going to raise up the high root by a tone to get our second. Then we also need to raise the high third by 3 frets to change it to the fifth of our chord, then we get a C sus2. This is a very versatile voicing, much like the A sus2 and D sus2. We're left with a finger free to create movable chords. Now let's take a look at the G form. For the G form, we take a similar approach. We mute off the lower third, and instead of raising the highest root, we raise the open G string root by a tone to get our second, then move 1 string up to find the third above, raise it by 3 frets to the fifth of our chord, and we get G sus2. This is not a versatile form as we're using all 4 fingers, making this chord fixed or not movable. We could, however, mute off the highest root on the first string, which will add a finger free to give us a movable voicing. Now let's take a look at the sus4 voicings. For sus4 chords, we need to raise the third by a semitone. Let's start with E, A and D. These ones are easy. For the E form, locate the open E bass note, move 3 strings higher to find the third, 1, 2, 3, then add the little finger to raise it by a semitone, and we get E sus4. For the A form, we use the same approach. Locate the open A bass note, move 3 strings higher to find the third, 1, 2, 3, then add the little finger to raise it by a semitone, and we get A sus4. For the D form, we use the same approach again. Locate the open D bass note, move 3 strings higher to find the third, 1, 2, 3, then add the little finger to raise it by a semitone, and we get D sus4. Now let's take a look at the C and G forms. For the C and G forms, we can raise both thirds by a semitone. This would turn the C chord into this, and the G chord into this. But the problem with these is that it leaves no extra finger to make movable voicings with a bar. So for the C form, I recommend muting off the higher third. But for the G form, unfortunately, there's not much we can do. Well, that's it for this one. If you got something out of this video, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for more guitar playing tips and tricks.